Okay, I think we're back live already, so that's fantastic. Sorry that I had to dip out earlier. What's up, Copy Squad? Okay, so we'll pick up essentially right back where we left off. I think we're back live already. Yep, okay, looks like we're live. Great. Alright, so where were we? We're basically talking about patents. So we're talking about the company itself. All right, and what they kind of introduced was like a boatload of credibility right up front about this dude was like a Nobel Prize winner, and then they started to introduce the pattern of the company being like part of this formula, right? So this has happened before in the 90s. This dude won a Nobel Prize. He started a company. He made 7,000%, and that's what he does. He likes saving lives and making money, and that's exactly what he's doing now. We've seen this happen before, and now we're seeing it happen again. I need to get like a better light source or something over here. Buy like one of those nice, expensive soft boxes so I can be fancy. All right, cool. So then after they got through the fact that it is a pattern that's recognizable and they've seen it happen before, they immediately jumped into this idea of patents. And we grabbed this line talking about 700 patents worldwide, 300 in the major markets. Now, this is in order to establish that this is kind of like a competitive moat that they're kind of winning. They say no other company comes as close to completely controlling this technology. So they don't completely control it, but they're one of the front runners in controlling it, right? They have a advantage, maybe like a nice chunk of market share or something like that, right? So of course, reading now, of course, this is a huge deal in the biotech world. Owning the patents means no other company can sell or develop treatments based on this science unless it pays Dr. Allen's company first. Okay, so we kind of talked through that. And then they started talking about the amount of dollars that equates to, right? So they got 30 licensing deals. SGX made 125% in one day. Cosan Biosciences set up a deal with Bristol Myers, and its shares went up 229% in one day. So you're talking about like 100, 200% gains in a single day. But this company has 30. So just think of the scale, all right? Having said that, these deals are still only icing on the cake for shareholders. Okay, so that means when you say icing on the cake, that's just the start. There's more to come. You should check this out. Having said that, these are icing on the cake. The biggest windfall is only months away. So these are just kind of like bonuses. There's actually something bigger on the horizon. Why an FDA loophole will bring this to market faster than most believe possible. Okay, so what we see here is some sort of latent urgency that this is coming, right? So, and it's coming faster than you would think. And also, when you see like the FDA get mentioned here, it's also lending credibility because it's coming faster than you would think, and at the same time the FDA is involved, so it's not like just some sort of hoax. This is actually kind of like a big deal. This brings us to the world-changing event I mentioned earlier, and this is an open loop they've been teasing since the very beginning as some sort of announcement. In short, we believe as early as 3 months from now, we will witness an amazing event that will bring everything we've just talked about onto center stage. We'll likely make this company very rich and hand millions of dollars to the very lucky investors who know about it in advance. And again, no specifics was something we mentioned in part 1. No specifics in dollar amounts, just you're going to get very rich. Very simply, Dr. Allen's company is on the verge of announcing incredible results from a Food and Drug Administration study about its top RNA interference medicine. So we got an announcement. And this is the first time they actually reveal what the announcement is regarding. Okay, and that's kind of important because look, they've had us on the line for 10 pages, right? And this is the first time they've actually told us what this announcement is all about. It's about incredible results from a Food and Drug Administration study. This study, conducted with the Boston University School of Medicine, which is more credibility, will be shocking even to most doctors. We know, we've seen the early FDA reports ourselves. The results of this announcement should lead to immediate Phase 3 approval from the Food and Drug Administration, meaning the first RNA interference treatment of its kind will soon be commercially available in the US. Okay, so now we're shifting gears, right? That's twice. They've mentioned urgency. This brand new medicine. Okay, so here comes our disruptive. This brand new medicine will radically extend the lives of thousands of patients in the United States and around the world. Will also open up the doors to let many live for centuries. But when this event occurs, it will take even most mutual fund managers on Wall Street by surprise, and here's why. So this is like get in early, before the big Wall Street wave, right? Instead of introducing its medicine the traditional way, this company is exploiting a legal loophole created by the FDA. It's called the Orphan Drug Act. Okay, so this is I don't want to call it a magic bullet. It's kind of like it's like a mechanism, right? It's a mechanism that allows them to come to market much faster and kind of take everyone by surprise. You see, several years ago, Congress created this law to fast-track medicines that treat certain rare, high-risk diseases. As the Wall Street Journal reports, so this is credibility, created this law to fast-track medicines. Incentives from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to develop so-called orphan drugs can mean quicker approval, tax benefits for the developer, and 7 years protection from competition after approval. Right now, getting full FDA clearance for a new medicine can take as long as 12 years. But like I said, Dr. Allen is a savvy businessman. That's why he and his management team are laser focused on a treatment for a rare orphan disease. By taking this unusual route to get this medicine on the market, the company cut down the final approval time for its RNA medicine to as fast as 12 months. So they went from 12 years to 12 months. Smash like if you think that's awesome. So they went from 12 years to 12 months. And they're taking advantage of this Orphan Drug Act to fast-track medicines to treat certain rare, high-risk diseases. Okay, so they're basically going to use it as a loophole to say, well, we're going to treat this one disease and try to get it fast-tracked. Specifically, Dr. Allen's team is going after a terrible genetic disease that more than 40,000 people are diagnosed with each year. Most die from it within 3 years. At this point, Dr. Allen's company is winding down its Phase 2 trials treating this orphan disease, which means the company is almost ready to make its biggest announcement yet about this technology. So, and how will we label all this? This is all a big urgency section, right? And they're kind of giving you a story behind why it's so urgent. I don't have a cool buzzword for this section yet, but we'll just kind of call it like our urgency story. At this point, it's winding down Phase 2. It's almost ready to make its biggest announcement yet about this technology. And based on early reports we've seen, after a single dose of RNA medicine, patients had a 94% reduction of the protein causing this genetic disease. In other words, most of the problems were turned off after a single treatment. In addition, side effects were non-existent, as one doctor involved in the study reported. So this is all proof, and it's like they're leaning almost exclusively on quotes for proof, and that's okay. It's credibility, and it's a doctor. I'm impressed with the almost complete knockdown of this disease after just a single dose of drug. Also notice they're not telling us what the disease is. I'm not sure if they plan to reveal it at all, but by doing that, they do kind of keep us waiting and wanting, right? Like, what is the disease? Are they going to reveal it? Or maybe they're not going to reveal it because they feel like during this time, and this was 2015, everyone knew about this and it would give it away. With When these results break into the mainstream in the days ahead, the federal government and FDA, according to its own Orphan Drug Act, will have no choice but to approve this medicine to get it to the market as fast as possible. That's why we fully expect this treatment will almost certainly pass into final phase 3 testing in the next 3 months. And when the company announces this next stage of approval, this event alone could be worth millions in profits. Okay. I think it's really important to note that it's non-specific. I've seen us kind of trending, and it's almost become like a circular. Like markets go up and down, they're circular, like a circle. But I seen like when I started, like you had to have a very specific number, and it had to be like you need to make $1,100,675 today, and then I seen it go to. Let me give you a little. You could turn $50 into that specific number, okay? And that got sliced away, and it says you could make as much as this very high specific number. And now I'm seeing things start to come full circle back to this, like worth millions. It's worth a lot of money, stuff like that. We're becoming vague again. We used to be very specific and hyperbolic, almost like with our claims, and I see it trending back in this direction. For those of you who are flying under the radar, and you're not working for like the largest info publisher in the world, you could probably still get away with pretty specific claims. But from a legal liability standpoint, we don't want to make very specific claims or audacious or big hyperbolic claims that we might be held liable for if it doesn't come true. So we've seen the big boys, the big players are starting to scale back. Consider when Spherix Inc. Okay, so here comes the proof. Alright, so cool. So here's a claim. It's saying this announcement is worth millions. So, claim. And I'm going to zoom in real tight here. The announcement is worth millions. That's their claim. So here's proof number 1 for that claim. Not to confuse you. Alright, consider when Spherix Inc. received approval from the FDA to start its final phase of testing for its new diabetes treatment, Naturelose. Its stock nearly tripled in one day. Ba-bam! Phase 3 approval announced, and huge gains. And when Sarepta Therapeutics, those propels make my throat so, I don't know. I drink these propels for electrolytes and 0 calories, and they just make me clear my throat for like the next 3 hours. I can't stop. And when Sarepta Therapeutics announced positive data from a similar FDA test, its shares immediately jumped 188% on the news. Pow! Alright, so they made the announcement, they made the money. Let's look at this really quick. Tripled in one day, 188% on the news. Those examples are just a taste of what we're expecting here. So they only had 2 pieces of proof. Might be because it's very hard to find that kind of proof. A monopoly on the important scientific breakthrough of a generation. It's a big word. I mean, it's a powerful word. What happens if this company gets final FDA approval for its RNA treatment, perhaps as early as next year, and brings it to the market? First off, instead of a 3-year death sentence, these 40,000 patients each year may have their lives extended longer than ever before possible, thanks to Dr. Allen's company. This alone will likely generate billions of dollars. Okay, again. Second, because this will be the first major RNA interference treatment to hit the market this way, and because it owns virtually all the patents on this technology. And let's see. So first to market and patents. So this is all about safety, right? This is like the paragraph above is like a neat little societal benefit, societal good, and it will result in money. That's kind of like all they got for you right there. This company will have a virtual monopoly Okay, so actually, when I have here, I wrote in red. This actually should probably be in green because this is a representative of a safety issue where you have no competition, right? So if I want to invest in Apple, it would be really useful if there were no other cell phone companies or computer companies competing with me, because then I know if there's a market of 100 million computer users, and right now it's got 20 million customers, that it has the potential to take the rest of the 80 if there's no competition. However, if there's competition, they may only take another 10 million and the competition might take the rest. So it's kind of, I mean, it seems like I shouldn't have to explain what a monopoly is good for, but you in terms of numbers, now you can kind of use those numbers as backup or as like a big hypey thing to say, because I can say they have virtually all the patents. There's 80 million people left in this market they haven't gotten to. And then I can argue they could grab the lion's share of that, So it's just like, it's all about framing. The door will be wide open for brand new medicines developed by Dr. Allen and his scientists. In fact, they're working on 5 new treatments as we speak. I should underline this monopoly line in green too. New RNA therapies for cardiovascular disease, liver cancer, hemophilia, and respiratory tract infections. All are in various phases of FDA approval right now. The results of these early FDA studies are extremely positive. So this is our urgency. Like it's coming, right? In fact, we expect to see the first of these other RNA medicines hit the market within 24 months. Think about the potential here. The hopes of millions of Americans are certainly riding on these new treatments. Consider the global market for liver cancer drugs will exceed $2 billion. Okay, and the world market for cardiovascular drugs will exceed 111.8 billion by the year 2015. All these new medicines could each be worth billions more in additional revenue for this company. Okay, this is very similar to the kind of argument I was just making. Was like you can talk about the size of the overall market, and then you can argue, hey man, we're going to grab the lion's share, which is exactly, I'd say almost exactly what they're doing here, I kind of just said that stuff. All these new medicines could be worth billions. And again, they're keeping it vague, right? They're not claiming they will grab 50% or 75% or anything like that. They're saying we've got like these larger markets to get into. The larger markets, bam, bam, all right? And remember, this isn't the first time Dr. Allen has done this. Remember, this isn't the first time. That's a similar line to saying we're seeing this happening again, or the history is repeating itself, or we've seen this pattern before. In 1996, at Bio Inc., the first company he founded, Dr. Allen used the Federal Orphan Drug Act to secure FDA approval for a drug called Avonex. Today, this drug is worth nearly $3 billion. Okay, so that's a big piece of proof. Meanwhile, Bio Inc. saw its shares go from 3 to over 240 and makes a bunch of money. That's a benefit, right? Make a bunch of money. He's done it before, and that's why I have no doubt he will do it again. 2 chances to make life-changing profits. Okay, so here's today's op. Any questions so far? If not, smash the like button, because I know you're getting bored over there just watching me. Push a button. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, smash the bell button, and sign up for my emails. And I wish I had a product to pitch. It'd make this so much simpler. I'd just be like, buy my product. All right, 2 chances to make life-changing profits. Quite frankly, there is no calculating how high the stock will go once the company gets its final approvals for this miracle of medicine. Just consider. A company called Amgen announced its human protein therapy passed FDA trials. As a result, stock soared 14,000%. Okay. So this is final approvals. So earlier, we just saw them talk about like making an announcement was worth a bunch of money, right? So here's the claim: announcement is worth millions, and they had two pieces of proof. Phase 3 announced moving to final stage. Okay, so now what they're saying here is a new claim, except this claim says that once you get all the way through FDA stuff, you're like golden, right? All right. It says no how high the stock will go. Getting through FDA causes stock to soar. Right? That's the claim. So they got three pieces of proof, it looks like. Proof one. When Celgene's cancer treatment drug cleared the FDA, ignited a stock run worth an incredible $16,000. Proof number two. And then there's a company called Biogen. It cleared its new multiple sclerosis drug, and investors have pocketed $7,000. What I really love is they were able to dimensionalize getting good news into different sections of proof. Because this one is about getting all the way through the FDA, while this other earlier example was about getting approved for stage 3. Right? So they were able to break that up. This whole section here is about safety. He's done this before, he'll do it again. And that was one of the questions we've had. How do you prove something that hasn't happened yet? They do it with the section just like this. He's done it before, he'll do it again. I feel like this was an urgency section, which seems a little out of place. But maybe they put this one early because they're approaching phase 3 now. Seems like, and then chronologically speaking, it makes more sense for the reader to read going through phase 3 and then getting all the way out of the FDA. Because generally, we put urgency closer to the bottom, closer to the pitch. All right, we still got ways to go. But more than this, the publicity surrounding these medicines will finally put this company in the public eye. Remember, Dr. Allen's company will now have FDA approval to switch off genes inside our cells. In short, this company will have the demonstrated scientific capability and the government approvals to let us live for centuries. That's, kind of our old promise. It's not really a promise because I mean it is a promise, but like mostly when we talk promise, we're really looking to see like a promise of $1 million in profits. If this doesn't get you excited as an investor, my friend, I am not sure what will. However, in order to make the most money, you need to get in the stock right now. Bam, urgent, bam. At the very least, you need to get in before it's the major announcement, the first major announcement, which will hit as early as 3 months from now. Doing so will give you as many as 2 chances to make a lot of money fast. Now I have a question for you guys. 3 months from now, does that seem too far out? Does that seem like that's not very urgent at all? Maybe this was the best date they could come up with, or the best legal backup they could find. But it seems like that's a little bit out there. I mean, relatively 2 months would seem shorter. But even still, that's an anchor that I've been set by seeing 3 months. So I don't know if 2 months would have looked too far to me as well. What do you guys think? 3 months. Smash like if you think it's too short, and smash like if you think it's too far. You get your first and best chance before the announcement of the phase 3 trial. That could happen in the next 3 months. As I said, if you want to make the most profits, you need to get in before this announcement to get the most profits. So that's this is all urgency. You also get a second chance. Before the announcement of the full FDA approval that might go public in as early as 12 months, if you get in before... Oh, I see. Second chance. This is the second way to profit. If you get in before the final approval, you'll stand to make an incredible amount of money. However, based on what we've seen in the past, you won't make as much as those who took the initiative to get in early. So, you can still profit, but it would be dumb to leave the money on the table. This is why I wanted to send you this message as soon as I possibly could. There's only a very short window I love this. I love this language. Short window of time. This window of opportunity will close. Anytime you see the word window, you know we're talking some FOMO. Only a very short window left while this company remains overlooked. When it announces the final FDA trials, perhaps in just a few months, there will be no stopping this stock. It's only a matter of time before the national media starts to put the pieces together. Finding a real fountain of youth will set imaginations on fire. Yeah, we've got to hit the offer section soon. We're seeing a lot of old themes revisited right now. Every new cure will make headlines. Millions of individual investors and their mutual fund managers are sure to begin piling into the stock. We're just a short time away from this watershed event. That's why I've compiled a complete research report. Here we go, introing the report. A complete research report called the RNA Interference Revolution, Your Ticket to Centuries of Health and Wealth. So, intro report. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the channel or don't know, my pink marker is for, pink or purple, is for the offer section. And I'm actually tempted to break this up so that we don't cover the offer section in this video. I want to kind of try to do shorter videos where, I don't know, I feel like seeing 2 hours in the timestamp it's just overwhelming. Like, screw that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Smash like if you think yes, and smash like if you don't. So here's your report. Reveals everything you know. You get a full overview of science. And of course, you'll find how to make the most money. Because we'll recommend how to play each impending FDA announcement for the most profit advantage and minimum risk. You'll know with confidence when to get in and when to get out. And you won't pay a dime for this intelligence. So it's free. Because I'd like to send you all of this free of charge, simply for taking a trial subscription to the club's flagship newsletter, the Oxford Communiqué. So this would be intro newsletter. Alright. We don't chase after trendy stocks or take undue risk. Instead, in our Oxford Communiqué, we follow a tried and true strategy. We're into high-yielding income investments, momentum stocks, special precious metals situations, undervalued real estate plays, and many more lucrative but extremely safe investments. Okay, so let's talk about, we gotta talk offer section stuff. So this is USP. And then whenever you reveal the report, it's good to explain what's in the report. Did they call this a report? Complete research report. Okay, now you'll see in other, in other videos that I've done, that they often don't call the reports, and they often don't call the newsletter a newsletter. But that'll be like a sign of the changing times, right? So you can see here, and this is in 2015, that they called the newsletter a newsletter, and they called the report a report. Let's see, should be in the sign off. Oh my goodness, this is 2013. I have been wrong. Okay, so this is actually a really old thing, and I don't think they've cured cancer yet or had the fountain of youth. But you can kind of see now how things are a little bit different now than what they once were. We're gonna 6 pages. We might just kind of blow through this really quick. You know, we're already here. We offer our readers special strategies, avoid taxes. This is all USP. Jesus, come on. Let me draw on you. Thank you. We use our vast expert network of contacts on Wall Street. And finally, we follow an unusual worldview, which ensures we almost always make money. Okay, so this is why you'd buy that. A worldview that makes you money no matter what. We don't control goes on Washington's. We don't rant about politics. You won't find long essays about this political party is always wrong. You won't find us gazing into crystal balls to predict doomsday. Nope. We don't have access to grind. So this is led by Chief Investment Strategist Alex Green. 100% efforts looking for investment strategies to help readers. I can't predict what crazy things politicians will do next, but I can tell you the universal truth of investing. If a company makes money and lots of it, the price of the stock will go up without exception. That's a very basic truism. It's not that we don't watch the market. It's like a hawk. We most certainly do. But we don't worry about things outside of our control. We're too busy making money. All right. So the portfolio is delivering yearly return of 16%, more than double the S&P or Dow. I think this is interesting to see because this is so much. I mean, again, just seeing the fact that this was actually in 2013 and not 2015 kind of like blows my mind a little bit more. See, there it says 2015, so maybe that's why. Maybe it just ran for a really long time, but it says 2013 to sign off. But it's like they wrote a lot differently, right? Like, look at this very reasonable claim. We'll give you 16% returns, which is better than S&P and Dow. Nowadays, if I don't write, I can guarantee you 10,000% returns. Nobody will buy. It's insane. But I do see us kind of circling back to those more vague, like we'll make millions kind of claims. Otherwise, I read all this. All of our open recommendations are up. Average gain is 67%. Cool. So this is all about how awesome. This is all credibility for the newsletter. And, you know, that's also kind of funny because nowadays we don't talk about the credibility of the newsletter. We don't talk about the track record. We don't talk about anything like that. Matter of fact, we avoid talking about the newsletter at all costs. Joe, testimonial. Nevertheless, market's been a part of the most technology. Market calls and overall solid performance have helped our members grow wealth. Cool. Every once in a while, disruptive technology comes along nobody expects. This technology overturns entire established industries while handing you a decade of gains within a few minutes. We've been a part of most of these technology revolutions. Track record. It's all track record and testimonial. So, delay testimonial. Track record. Alright, cool. Situation with Cutter is no different. And they circle it back and they reconnect it back to the today's opportunity. How much can I earn with copywriting in England? I'm 18 and may want to get into this. That's a question in the chat. I mean, it's a tough question, and it's really an impossible question to answer. I mean, we have an Agora financial office, I believe, in the UK, right? And if you're good, the sky is the limit because it's a payout on like royalty basis where your letter could run for like, it looks like this letter ran for like 2 years, you know, because it says copyright 2015, even though the sign off is in 2013. So maybe it ran for 2 years. And for 2 years, this made money every day, right? So think about that. You got that running every day, but you don't retire. You don't go home and say, okay, that letter makes me money now, I quit. You write a second letter and then say that one runs for 4 or 5 months. And then you write a third letter while that one's running, and you've got 2 running already, and the third one comes up. So what you can have here is sort of exponential wealth, and as you get better and you start to kind of figure out your process, you will get faster. I mean, kudos to you being 18 and thinking about getting into it. I recommend it. That's all I can say. Like, you're in the UK, so, I mean, it's not like you're trying to write for, like, Brazil or those markets are a lot tougher. And I think, like, and because we have a Brazilian office, and the way they do newsletter subscriptions, the amount of money they'll pay, it varies a lot. So I think you're in a good position, and go for it. I don't know. It's a really vague way to answer it, but it's also a very vague question. Like, how much money can I make? Like, how much money can a CEO make? I mean, is he Jeff Bezos or is he blah from down the street? You know, can I become a good copywriter just from watching all these videos, or do I need training? I don't know how to start. Great question. I had the training that Agora Financial gave me, these videos are going to be really helpful because this is kind of how you self-train, right? Whenever you read a book, they kind of give you the psychology, they kind of give you like the influence techniques and influence tricks, but what does that mean, right? How do you write that and condense it down into like 1 or 2 lines and make it impactful and make it resonate? Well, you only learn that from seeing other people do it. This is really about internalizing this language. It's like learning a new language and replicating that. In the book, I've seen people like a true rookie mistake is, in my opinion, is when I see someone post something on Facebook, like if they're doing like a computer repair company needs a flyer, and they start the flyer with "It's happened again. You've been working all night, slaving over your laptop," and then all of a sudden the screen goes black. What do you do? Like, I've already clicked away by the time we've gotten to that. But the copywriting books will tell you you need to get in the conversation in their head, or like level with them, or meet them halfway or something like that. And you don't really know what that means in application. So for instance, you got to learn how to like get to the point quickly, yet also do all those things. So I think it's a really long-winded answer, but hopefully other people will also get something out of that answer. Can you become a good copywriter from just watching these videos? I want to also answer very directly. You cannot become a good copywriter if you do not write copy. I think that is one of my biggest pet peeves. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves with Facebook groups. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with online courses. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with reading books. Like, it doesn't mean jack if you don't actually write. You cannot become a good copywriter unless you write copy. So, and there's tons of places to do stuff like that. I think Upwork has kind of become like a dead zone for that. I don't think you can go online and sign up to Upwork and start writing copy anymore. But at the end of the day, it's the internet. The internet allows everyone to succeed, and you've got that opportunity now. You could go online and find someone who wants some copy help for cheap or for free right now and do practice. Some people say do spec work. I find it really hard to write something when it's for free. Basically impossible. I tried that way back in the day, but I mean, with the internet and Google, like you just and this is free. Like, people charge like $2,000 to do what I'm doing. So yeah, there's just like no excuses. You got to just want it and then go after it. So we're gonna jump back onto the sales letter here. We got this worldview that makes you money no matter what. So this is kind of focusing on their USP. Oh snap! We already put all over all that. Secret to making 453% in the next few years. So this is pretty specific. In addition to our play on RNA reference, we're looking at several other lucrative opportunities right now. These include some of the best ways to make sure your wealth increases in value no matter what the markets end up doing this year. So that's a safety line. No matter what the markets end up doing this year. For example, here's a rather unusual opportunity to pocket big gains from another disruptive breakthrough. So, new. And this is safe. How to get rich. So these are going to be bonus reports. How to get rich from the 357 billion graphene revolution. That's not all. Then there's how to collect 453% on modern society's essential assets. Most Americans don't own a single commodity. Poised to blah, blah, blah. Lastly, this report is essential reading for all new Oxford Communique subscribers. It's called How to Build a $1 Million Portfolio from Scratch. Successful investing involves 7 real secrets, blah, blah, blah. Of course, if you follow our strategy, your first investment will probably be the one company using RNA interference to let us live to the age of 1,000. If you want to make a lot of money quickly, this is the very first report you'll want to read. Yeah, so these are just bonus reports, right? Did it say bonus reports? We're looking at several other, so this is, yeah. Bonus number 1. bonus. Number 2, bonus. Number 3. Alright, along with your subscription to the communique, you'll also be a premier member of the Oxford Club. And at the point of our investment group is not simply to give you one-time big gain and send you on your way. We like to help you develop and maintain a level of wealth and knowledge you would not thought possible. We are only successful if our members are successful, so testimonials. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over offer section because offer sections are pretty much the same. You got your recap section. So here's the price. I think you get my point. In the months ahead, we like to make sure you make the same kind of money as our happy customers. Long-term track record, detailing. We'll send you all this stuff. You'll also receive website, current recommendations. This is the portfolio on the website. Between issues, weekly recommended portfolio updates. You can call the 1-800 number. How much does it cost? So $12 a month. This might be an anchor. We'll find out in 1 second. I hope you're considering trying us out. With all these benefits, you may be worried the cost of our newsletter is an exorbitant fee. After all, I'm offering you the chance to make potentially thousands of dollars thanks to the miracle of RNA interference. Fortunately, we're currently offering all the special reports I mentioned and Oxford Club membership. 1-year subscription to Oxford Communique costs $149. That's just over $12 per month. I don't think that's going to be the same price. Considering the average person pays $25.83 a year on 401k account, I'd say that's fair. Distant fees, how about that? If that's true, that's a pretty neat little stat. By joining today, you'll get 12 monthly issues. We'll rush you your reports. So you get, this is like a recap, urgent situation. Couldn't make this any easier, but in case you have any lasting doubts, let me make a final suggestion. It's probably going to be a guarantee. Yeah, here's a guarantee. Get a full refund in 60 days. Can't say if the subscription for Oxford is what you're looking for to secure, but there's just one way to find out. Simply click here. Okay, this is something I'm going to mark in blue. This comes back to Blair Warren's Forbidden Keys to Persuasion. And I noted that, I don't remember all the numbers. I think number 7. I think Forbidden Key or Hidden Addiction number 7 was people need to feel in power. So whenever you close, I'm starting to recognize this now since I read that book. So I'm still even learning and seeing the matrix as I go along. But it's sense of power. So they do this like, I can't say if this is right for you. The decision is yours and yours alone. You know, I can encourage you, you can lead a horse to water, but I can't make you drink kind of thing. So this is, I can't say if a subscription for the Oxford Communique is what you're looking for. So it's like at the end of the day, I can just give you the facts. It's really up to you. There's just one way to find out. Simply click here, go to a secure order form. You'll have access to all of our research in a matter. I wonder if this will take me, if that order form's still up. Can I go there? Kind of be interested in looking at that. No, I'm just drawing blue lines all over it. I wonder if I turned off the pen, if I could do it. Oh, no, stay. Oh, no. I haven't saved this in like a dog's age. Marked up, save. Save, sucker. Alright, I'm not gonna mess with that right now. Anyway. Yeah, click here, go to secure order form, you'll have access to all of our research in a matter of minutes. Call this number, mention the code. The way I look at it, you have 2 choices with your money. Here's a crossroads close. Keep it all in regular stocks and mutual funds, returning in the best case scenario. Be thinking up questions. We'll be taking questions like 2 seconds. I'm going to tell you right now. Smash like 2. Alright? You can keep it all in regular stocks or mutual funds. In the best case scenario, 12% a year. Worst case, you'll get 0% returns. In the long run, lose money as most Americans do. Or you can make one simple move, taking a few minutes of your time, one that could create returns as high as 7,000%, like we've seen in the past, and letting you perhaps enjoy centuries of health and wealth. Okay, so this is come on, pen, work with me, work with me. Crossroads close. I'm hoping you'll make the right choice, Laura. Remember, P.S. Remember to make the most money. You need to take advantage of this opportunity. So in the P.S., you should see some urgency right now. Once the news breaks about this technology, there will be no stopping this stock. Millions of Americans could start getting these radical life extension treatments as soon as next year. And you can get everything you need to know in our special report, risk-free for the next 60 days. But only if you act now, click the subscribe now button. Alright, that's it. We did it. We did the whole thing. I was going to stop, but I didn't. And I feel pretty good about it. And I'm really glad I stayed on and was able to take those questions, because I think Kazan brought in some interesting questions and let me vent about my distaste for most Facebook groups, which are really just drum circles of people talking about their favorite writing recipes and writing playlists, and I don't know if any of those people even write. Anyway. Oh, here we go. Tons of questions. Is there a place where you list out the basic and general guidelines for the main chunks of a sales letter like this, like in broad strokes, name of section, purpose of section, length of section, headline, grab eyeballs, lead, get them excited, like a high overview template? Maybe this is an appropriate place to talk about here, or maybe you already talk about this sort of basic sales letter breakdown in one of your other videos. Okay. This is going to echo something that I said to, I forget who I told, but I have these 4 things here at the top, right? The 4 U's, my 4 things, which are basically 8 things, and then the 4 Clayton Makepeace thing. And I'll say the KM checklist is probably the closest thing I've got to like a true blue template layout. Basically, you have to pick like what tool you want to use and focus on to really get them to give you their buy-in. So for instance, if I'm doing a system promo, I know that I need to make it fast, I need to make it easy, and it's got to give you money, like by pushing a button. And then something like this, where we're teasing a stock, and this looks like a front-end letter. It's only $149. I thought this was a back-end. So that's crazy. But it needs to be something disruptive, new, and enormous, right? So we know those things. Those are the things we start. So how do I prove that to you? That's kind of like where things start to go their own way. Like this is a biotech company. So I'll prove that this treatment, like what they did in the Bribe City, was like I'll show you the science is real, the demand is real, the treatments are real. Those are kind of the things I need to prove to you before you think that you can make $1 zillion off of this. For a system promo, you push a button, you make money. But I have to prove to you that there's actual science behind this, that this works, which I call the technical explanation. But the technical explanation usually comes after what I call the layman's explanation, where I explain to you the gist of what the system is. So yeah, there are those Kyleisms, I've had them be called. There are Kyleisms where I kind of understand what sections need to come, and I don't have them written down anywhere, or the purpose, or the length of the section. The length of a section is as short as possible is the best answer to a length of a section. I mean, you'd be surprised at how quickly people get bored and just like bounce. Like I get bored reading this stuff sometimes, and I can tell like I wish they'd have cut this shorter. And whenever you're writing, everything's exciting and everything feels like proof and everything feels like ammo in your arsenal. Like, oh, this will prove it, and this will get them excited. But you'd be surprised. Like some of this stuff can just feel really boring. I'm droning now. Actually, I don't even think I'm answering your question anymore. But template, guideline, it depends. I guess the short answer is depends, which everyone hates that answer, on what type of promo you're going after. Once you establish the type of promo you're going after, then you need to figure out what things you need to prove to make it seem real. And I think the quickest way to do that, this template thing, is bull malarkey, I believe. I think anyone writing from a template is setting themselves up for failure, because what you are doing when you write from a template is someone has created a process, they've repeated it to the point where it's become a science, and now they're giving it away. By the time it gets down the track of development to perfection, and then through sales, and then reaches your computer and you're using it, your audience is tired as shit of seeing that same thing. Like by the time it reaches your desktop and you begin to use it, everyone will recognize it for what it is, which is advertising. And nobody wants to read an ad, and nobody wants your newsletter. So I start very big and broad, and then I say, what do I need to say to convince this person that this is real? So when we started this, we said, this company's claiming they have the true fountain of youth. I said they really need some credibility behind that. Like, you can't just say that. You need someone to really, like, straight up say this is some real stuff. And look, they use doctors, magazines, cred. There's a lot of yellow in this promo compared to other promos. Because how do you make someone believe the fountain of youth is real, right? So they pulled a lot of yellow in this one. Usually it's green, right? Usually you see green everywhere, if you watch my videos. But yeah, tons of quotes, tons of cred. Because they're making a crazy claim. Fountain of youth. Alright, any other questions? Wow, I thought I ended this at 40 minutes, now it's like 52. I just rambled for like 10 minutes straight. By the way, I have a question for you. Have you hit like yet? Alright, so hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, send me free money. I was just watching the Heat Seekers, and you were talking about the lead being typically 5 to 7 pages. This got me thinking maybe you had different sections identified like that. But what you're saying makes sense. Yeah, typically a lead, for instance, this lead I thought was over. So here's, oh yeah, this was a big one here. This was a 1 page and 1/2 lead, 1.5 pages. Because see, this is a quarter of a page, this is a full page, and this is a quarter of a page. And they start talking about Laura here. They do go right back into the opportunity, but basically they had made their whole case within that first page and a half. It told you basically everything you needed to hear and know to be ready to buy, and then the rest of the sales letter is spent trying to prove those points. Alright. So, you're very welcome. Thank you for asking the question. I feel like the questions is what gives these videos color. Like, otherwise I'm just reading a promo to you, right? So it's the questions that kind of give me a chance to... I would not have any context to say any of these things without the questions. So thanks for bringing the questions to the videos. I think the questions is what actually gives this stuff value. Alright, I don't see any other questions coming, so I am going to sign off. Going once, going twice. And the funny thing is I say going once, going twice, and if I sign off right then, you won't see going once, going twice for like 18 seconds. There's like a massive delay on this. Alright, for real though, this time I'm out of here. You can't stop me now. I'm leaving. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in. I don't see any other questions coming in for real, even though I stalled a lot. Let me know. Yeah, I'm going to put this document in. Oh, yeah, I should tell you guys about that, right? I'm going to put this PDF file in our swipe file for my pals who subscribe to my emails and this channel. So So smash like, pa-pow. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, pa-pow. And if you want to get this PDF in your email, you can go to http://kylethewriter.com/swipe. And I will put that right here in the box. Thank you very much. And then this will come to your email box. This, along with my entire swipe file of all my YouTube stuff. So it's going to be a lot. That's it, man. And ladies, we're done. Have a good day. Thanks for coming by. Bye.